I never thought much about the old abandoned school building that loomed on the edge of our campus. It was always there, a decaying relic of the past, shrouded in vines and forgotten by time. But one fateful night, my curiosity would lead me down a path of terror I could never have imagined. The wind howled through the trees as I stood in front of the forbidding structure. It was late, and I was there with a group of friends, egged on by a mixture of Halloween bravado and curiosity. The stories about the old schoolhouse had always been there, whispered among students like some dark secret, but no one ever dared to enter its decaying halls. "Come on, Emily," Alex said, his voice brimming with bravado. "Let's see if the stories are true." I hesitated, but the peer pressure was relentless. We had flashlights and smartphones, our only sources of light as we pushed open the creaking door. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of damp wood and decay. We shivered, but the excitement of the unknown pushed us forward. The hallway stretched endlessly before us, cobwebs hanging like spectral veils. Old lockers lined the walls, their doors hanging open like hungry mouths. The walls were adorned with faded, tattered posters, a snapshot of a bygone era. I couldn't help but feel a shiver running down my spine. As we ventured deeper into the school, we discovered a classroom frozen in time. Dust-covered desks, abandoned textbooks, and forgotten homework assignments lay scattered about. The blackboard was a canvas for our flashlights, casting eerie shadows with every step. "Look at this," Emily said, picking up a torn piece of paper from a desk. It was a child's drawing, crude and unsettling, depicting twisted faces and eerie symbols. The longer we stared at it, the more we felt like we were trespassing in a place we were never meant to enter. We continued our exploration, our footsteps echoing through the desolation. The deeper we ventured, the more we realized that the school was much larger on the inside than it had seemed from the outside. It was as if the building was expanding, twisting reality around us. In the distance, we heard the sound of laughter, the faint echoes of children playing. It was so out of place in the abandoned darkness that it sent chills down our spines. Emily let out a nervous laugh, but it was a laughter laced with fear. "Maybe it's just the wind," she said, her voice shaking. As we moved toward the source of the laughter, we entered a vast gymnasium. The floor was littered with abandoned toys and swings hung eerily from the ceiling. The sound of children's laughter grew louder, and we could almost make out their shadowy figures playing in the dim light. "Who are they?" Alex whispered. But before any of us could answer, the laughter turned to haunting cries. The children's shadows twisted and contorted, their once innocent voices now filled with anguish and despair. We stumbled back in horror as they seemed to reach out toward us, their ghostly hands trying to pull us into their nightmarish world. In a panic, we fled the gymnasium, running through the labyrinthine hallways of the school. But the building had become a nightmarish maze, constantly shifting and warping around us. The laughter of the ghostly children followed us, a relentless reminder of the horrors that lurked within. As we ran, we stumbled upon a room that was different from the rest. The door was ornate, and the room beyond was bathed in an eerie crimson light. In the center, a grotesque statue stood, a monstrous fusion of human and animal features, its eyes filled with malevolence. Whispers filled the room, voices from another world, speaking in a language we couldn't comprehend. It was a language of madness, and it seeped into our minds like a poison. With a sense of dread, we realized that we were no longer alone in that room. A figure shrouded in darkness stood in the far corner. Its eyes were empty voids, and it radiated a palpable sense of malevolence. It was the source of the whispers, the conductor of the nightmarish symphony that had enveloped us. "Get out!" I screamed, my voice trembling with terror. We turned and ran, the echoes of our footsteps accompanied by the sinister laughter of the ghostly children. The hallways seemed to stretch endlessly, and the building itself seemed to come alive, its walls pulsating with a malevolent energy. In a moment of sheer panic, we burst through a door, finding ourselves back in the gymnasium. The children's cries surrounded us, their ghostly hands reaching out, but this time we were determined not to succumb to their grasp. With every ounce of strength, we forced our way through the nightmarish visions and out of the gymnasium, back into the decaying hallway. The air felt different now, lighter, as if the building had released its hold on us. We fled the old schoolhouse, our hearts pounding, our bodies drenched in cold sweat. As we stumbled into the moonlit night, we could still hear the haunting cries of the children behind us. The stories were true, and the old schoolhouse was a place of unspeakable horror. It was a night I would never forget, a night when the shadows of the past came to life and dragged us into a nightmare from which we could never truly escape. The old schoolhouse would forever remain a dark secret, a place where the past and present converged in a terrifying dance of darkness.